Welcome to the Gentleman's Bureau, everybody. I'm happy to be back because I was left out last week and I missed everybody. I really did.
What did you think of it?
Actually, I listened to it. It was pretty cool. Boo. Like,
Some ghosts.
The ghost thing was pretty neat, guys. I was like, oh, I wish I was part of that.
Do you have one? Because I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I got one. We'll talk about it later on
still
the show.
haunted.
There's so many. Well, the houses are like super old around me, so of course we got little spooky spooks walking around. But let's just dive right into this episode. Jed wanted to tell a story, and I stopped him so that we could do this all together on the show. So, everybody, get back, relax. Let's dive into this. Let's go. Jedediah Barnes, all the way from Wisconsin,
So I'm like,
telling this story, trying to talk over me, but I'm not gonna let him just yet. I'm not gonna let him get in there. Lane eating some little snacky snack in his new apartment. I like it.
Yeah, you're gonna hear my chomping before you hear Jed's story. Because that's the priority here at the Gentleman's Bureau, is to not let Jed talk. Okay? So, while Jed's frustrated, hitting his vape over there, I'm going to have me another bite.
Ooh, wonderful.
nah, there's two of me.
Oh,
You can't possibly stand against me.
Okay, just what the fuck's your story?
all right, let's go.
All right.
Jed, we've only been trying to have you tell this story for forever, so come on.
I messed it up so many times.
So
Like, seriously, Jed,
we're
start talking, Jed. Like, seriously, we're giving you the opportunity. Start talking.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, it's just not that hard. I mean, start talking. I don't know why you're so quiet still.
anyway.
Like, I'm pretty sure a 2-year-old would have already started telling the story by now.
So anyway. There I was.
Man, is that all he can say? Is so anyway? He said it like the past 4 times. Come on, Jed, tell the story already.
There I was. In my apartment. Chilling. Doing some work. Adding some audio files to my acting profile online and stuff. And these are new headphones. They got noise cancellation, so everything sounds weird and quiet. So it took me a little while to notice. But when I took them off to get like a ear breather, I was like, "What the fuck?" And I realized I could feel bass. And some jackwagons were over here like washing their cars with Planned Parenthood's hose, which is suspicious, blasting music like crazy. And I'm just like, why? They were it was so loud when I walked to get my mail. One of my neighbor's door knockers was fucking vibrating. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, they're shaking the whole fucking building here. And it's like, I get it. You got a loud stereo. Go to a parking lot somewhere else. This is residential area. I'm trying to record. Luckily, this microphone doesn't pick up a lot of background noise. So I got lucky there. But it was just like, come on.
Yeah.
Well, you're officially the not cool guy in the building now.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, oh, Jed doesn't like to party.
He's that asshole that yells.
Who gets invited to the next cocaine and hookers shindig? Not you.
There's a time and place.
Not Jed. He's not cool enough for hookers and blow.
Exactly.
He's cool enough for this bag of shit we're gonna light on fire in front of his doorstep.
He called the shit poop. That'd be Jed.
Called the shit poop?
Yeah. Okay, you don't know Billy Madison?
Oh, I mean, I know Billy Madison. I don't remember that exact.
You're not versed in the world of Adam Sandler?
I'm very versed in the world of Adam Sandler. I love Adam Sandler. I was literally just singing one of his songs before we started recording. I'm just not sure about that one obscure phrase from that one obscure movie.
Oh, obscure
medium
movie.
Pace.
Whoa, hold on now.
Well, any movie can be obscure within Adam Sandler's like timeline. Like he's got so much stuff. It's like anything can can find a way to hide in there.
Do you guys like old Adam Sandler or new Adam Sandler more?
Old.
Old.
Same.
I want the Adam Sandler that actually pelted kids with dodgeballs because he said, and I quote, "It's funny to hit kids with dodgeballs." Like, if you watch those scenes, like, there's a lot of jump cuts. It's because the kids were actually fucking crying.
I like that.
He was
I like
whipping
that.
them, which is the right way to do it.
Oh, that's great.
Builds character. I got hit with dodgeballs when I was a kid.
Okay.
At a medium pace.
At a medium pace.
Sometimes. A couple of guys had arms, man. Could whip them.
Price is wrong, Bob.
That one I fucking know. I love that line.
It's all good. Oh shit.
So
We got anything else to add on to that? What's your favorite Adam Sandler movie?
Oh, favorite Adam Sandler movie? 51st Dates.
Oh. What?
It's funny, and I can like easily convince a girl to watch it with me. So they get a rom-com, and I get a funny movie, and everybody wins. Especially Adam Sandler.
I think Big Daddy, dude, because it was like when he was young, and he played like an emotional character in that film, but he also played like a funny character. So it was like you saw both sides.
I love Little Nicky. It's the best one.
I bought it specifically to show it to people.
Didn't
Most
his
people have never
face?
heard of it.
Mr. Wolver, wasn't he in that or some shit?
He said
Really?
He was.
He said he was.
Mr.
That
Hart
and
said
Dark
he was
Knight.
in Dark Knight too. No, that was
Yeah.
Mr. Hart's. Mr. Hart
Was
said he was
it?
in the Dark Knight.
He
the
said he
bank
was.
scene. Said he was.
Yo, that guy's
He said he
a fucking
was.
creep,
Yeah.
man.
Pretty
For
sure he
real.
was in a lot of something else.
That dude is a creep, for real.
He's probably on a list somewhere. Let's just say that. Or maybe in a
Yeah.
club with men and boys and love.
He's on that ranch out west.
We'll move on from that. It's a little dicey topic.
Yeah, that's.
But no,
topic.
Little Nicky, Ozzy Osbourne makes an appearance, and
Yeah, and
I'm
then
not
Rob
saying
Schneider
that's what
gets a
makes
great
me
line.
love that movie, but I love that movie.
I love Rob Schneider's line from when Ozzy shows up. "You can do it, Ozzy. Bite this freaking head off."
Rob Schneider, what a career Rob Schneider has.
Rob Schneider, yeah, dude.
He just rides on the coattails of fucking Adam Sandler and just goes to every other film that he's in. Doesn't he play
Well,
that? He plays the fucking the coconut guy in the
51st
51st
Dates,
Dates. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he plays
Yeah,
that's Steve Buscemi, Crazy Eyes and Mr. Deeds.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, you
that's-
got to think like that's like there's a whole group there. They got Adam Sandler, David
Yeah.
Spade, Kevin James, Chris Rock's kind of in it, Rob Schneider, and I'm pretty sure like they
You
usually
just
work with the
named
same-
everyone from the Grown Ups. That's all you
Yeah.
did. They're
Yeah,
never in a
because
film other than the Grown Ups together. Like,
But they're all in the same like groups, right?
Yeah, they're all in the same friend group, right? And they're although they might not all be in other movies together, all of them are in other movies together. If that makes sense, right? So you see Adam Sandler
Kevin
and
James.
David Spade a few times. You see Adam Sandler, Kevin James a couple times. You see Adam
Where?
Sandler. I can't remember off the top of my head, but you see him.
I can't remember
David
Kevin James.
Spade and who?
But anyway, definitely like Adam Sandler and Rob Schneider though. But Rob Schneider does have movies without Adam Sandler that are very good. I can think of one in particular that's hilarious.
What?
Was that-
The Animal?
I don't know what it's actually called, but it's like he's a male gigolo by accident.
Is it
Oh, yeah,
Deuce
yeah, he has
Gigolo,
that-
male gigolo.
Yep, that's the one.
That was
I mean,
all
that's-
right. That was.
What do you guys
kinda
think
funny.
about? What do you guys think about being a gigolo?
I got a story
Yeah.
about that.
You ever thought of that? I was like, huh, maybe I could. Things are
I
down
mean,
and out.
Depends on the
Not
day,
a bad
man.
profession. I have a friend that was doing that pre-COVID. He was doing it for about 6 months, and then COVID came around, and he wasn't getting orders. Orders. I don't know how you would put that,
Clients?
but client. Yeah, there we go. He wasn't getting clients, and a lot of it was just old women and like gay dudes that just wanted company. Old gay dudes, and he'd just go out to like dinner with them for the most part.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
that's cool.
Fuck it.
But my mom told me this story about whenever she was out in California back in the day, and like one of her husband's friends had showed up, like crashing on their couch, like didn't have a job, and like they were kind of just like letting them sleep on their couch or whatever, as you do in the 70s. And he just overstayed his welcome. They're like, okay, you got to get out of here. You got to go get a job, man. Like, like bye. And he left. And then they didn't hear from him for like 6 months, 7 months. Then he shows back up randomly out of the blue with this old lady, and he's been gigoloing for like the whole 6 months. He's like, it's amazing. It's the best job in the world.
Oh my god, dude. That's
My
wild.
mom said she felt embarrassed for him. I was like, that's awesome. So this dude in the 70s is gigoloing out in California. Crazy.
That's nuts.
Could you imagine California in the 70s? That'd be a stellar time.
All the leaves are brown, and the sky is gray.
Gray.
Yeah, man. I just think of like smoking a lot of grass and hanging out in the trees.
That's probably what it was. Like,
Yeah, man.
more so than anything. A lot of Vietnam vets coming back, and everybody's on some sort of dope, right?
Yeah, dude.
And then you have the behind scenes with the CIA going on, you know, with Charles Manson and LSD.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Figuring
Good
out how they're
times,
going to get crack in the black community and bring it down.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers.
There's always those silent organizations at work.
Damn.
So anyway, Mark, you just spent the day at the movies. What'd you go see?
Oh, I had an amazing day at the movies, actually, guys. It was, I don't know if anybody else does this, but here in Japan, every once in a while, you can pay like $30 and you can go see movies all day, which is pretty good because the average movie is about $20 in Japan. So, yay for me, right? So it started at like 9 o'clock in the morning. So I got up and headed over to the movie theater. I seen Run first with Emily Blunt. It's a pretty good one.
Basic plot.
Without giving too much away, it's about a mother that is like overly possessive of her daughter and like keeps her like unhealthy so that she can take care of her, kind of thing.
Oh, I think I did see the trailer for that. That one did look kind of cool. Not my style of movie to go see, but probably definitely a good movie.
Yeah, it was all included. So the only movie I really like wanted to go see was Quiet Place 2, and that was my second movie I went and seen, also with Emily Blunt. Pretty cool. Emily Blunt ruled my morning, my first half of the day with those two movies. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Quiet Place 2 was, I'd say like 8 out of 10. Good. Like, I don't know. There's not as much like suspense, I guess, as it was in the first movie. The first movie was just way better, and this movie was so more than so, I guess. And if you're thinking about going to the theater, I'd say nah, don't watch it in theater. Like, just wait for it to come out and watch it.
Yeah, I actually heard a story about some guy that was like watching A Quiet Place and he didn't realize that his speakers were off. So he's like, man, I didn't think they were this literal about it being so quiet. But then halfway through, he like hit a button by accident and turned his sound on and was like, whoa, this sound. And he was like, oh God, I'm such an idiot. I was like, that's funny.
Well, I think like what made the first one so good was the fact that there was like little amount of lines, and then like it was very suspenseful. Like the music was composed amazingly, right? And like anytime there was noise, like you kind of were like on edge with that, right? Like, ooh, what's gonna happen? And then like with the Quiet Place 2, it just wasn't as much as a big deal. I guess it wasn't that feel, without giving anything away. And then I went and had lunch, which was really nice. And then because I was at the mall, do everything there, I guess. And then I went and seen the Mortal Kombat movie, which I gotta say, I walked into that thinking it was gonna be like, oh, this is just gonna be like fighting and kind of dumb. So low expectations. Walked in, bloody, gory mess, and I loved every second of it. It's a bro movie for sure.
Nice.
And yeah, I'm glad I watched that in the theaters because of like the action scenes and everything and the fighting. It was pretty
Yeah.
cool. There was there was so many like you're like, ooh, that character I would play in the game or this character, that character, right? And you get to see them like fight and then use like they like learn their special move. I don't know. It was awesome. It was just awesome to see that movie. And then like like Sub-Zero's in it and Scorpion shows up and you're like, this is amazing. And they're just fighting. And it's not like regular fights where it's like, oh, somebody gets punched and then they fall down. It's like somebody gets stabbed 12 times, pulls the sword out of their chest and attacks the person again. You're like, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, and then lastly, I went and seen, what was that movie I went and seen? Cruella.
Cruella.
Yeah.
Cruella DeVille. Yeah.
Yeah. My wife liked it a lot. I thought it was all right. The music was amazing. Like, so it takes place in like 70s London. So you gotta watch the movie just for the music lane. You'd be like, oh, this is awesome.
Hell yeah. That's cool.
And it really wasn't a bad movie. Like, what's that? Emma Stone was the leading lady, and she's a pretty attractive lady. So,
man, a lot of people say that about. A lot of people say that about her. I just can't.
What's funny is, so I was talking to Patrick, and I had just watched the new Croods movie, and I was like, he was like, you liked it? And I was like, I mean, of course I liked it. Like, there's fun movies. They're funny. And, they got, like, Nick Cage, Emma Stone, Ryan Reynolds. And I was like, two of them are pretty attractive. And he was like, you mean Nick Cage and Ryan Reynolds? And I was like, yeah, you know what? Actually, all three of them are pretty attractive, yeah.
Isn't it a cartoon?
Yeah, it's a cartoon.
They're attractive?
Well, I know who they are.
Like, the voices?
In person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, they're just
we know it's kind of porn Jed watches.
I'm missing a jump. I'm missing a jump somewhere. There was a reason we were talking about why they were attractive.
Oh, I think Emma Stone's attractive because of her bone structure in her face.
I like how big her eyes are.
On point. This very symmetrical face.
Yeah. On point. That all comes down to the golden ratio, which just makes things look appealing to your eyes. That's why good architecture looks so good.
That's why it looks so fucking great.
No, it's not.
Have you guys ever done the thing where you like cut your face in half and then like judge it symmetrically?
Yeah. The first one I did, I had like a weird angle on my head. Like I think I was looking down. So when I cut it and flipped it, it looked so stupid because like one of them had like a V head, and the other one I had like an arrow head. It was so weird. But I eventually did one that was more straight on. And it was okay. I mean, I also just don't have a symmetrical face because I broke a bone. So I'll never have a symmetrical face again without a lot of surgery.
Well, Stallone's all right, so you'd be good.
Is he all right? I just watched that Last Blood, Rambo Last Blood. It's like, God, you're looking fucking. You need to hang it up, man. Fuck.
The Escape Plan is Stallone and Schwarzenegger. They're both kind of old, but it's a good movie.
Swartz what?
Swartz what?
I didn't catch what you said, Jed.
The Austrian Arnold.
Terminator.
Arnold. Okay.
Yeah, Arnold. Governor Arnold Terminator. Yep, that's the guy.
Yeah. There you go.
No disrespect, sir. It's just your name is not safe for the internet.
Exactly. Have you? Speaking of that, like, did you ever hear? You remember there was I don't want to like give too much away, but there was a helper lady that was about 90 years old, from Austria in our German classes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, dude. I think her name was
She
Michaela.
shut up, Jed. Like I didn't want to give too much
Well,
away, but like I'm not
I don't.
sure,
I don't remember.
what in the world, but
Bro.
people say. But she always made reference to Arnold, and she would say his full name, and it came out so not. I don't know. It was her accent, so it was like,
Yeah.
oh, stop, somebody's gonna see us. We're gonna get in trouble. There's gonna be riots. I swear to God. Nobody will understand. Oh, you're old and white. Oh, this is bad look.
You're
This is a
old,
bad look.
man. Like, can't say that shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Is there anything you guys wanted to bring up, by the way?
no.
There was something I thought of that I thought would be interesting to look at. I'll show it on the screen. So I don't know where the idea came to me from. I think some streamer mentioned it. So basically, it's about um, misleading information or like twisting information for your own narrative. And I just wanted to like give a broad example of this. So right now, I got pulled up on a government website of some kind. Unemployment rates by age, sex, and race. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if we look at the total from we got 2020 and we got 2021. We'll just stick with 2021 for now. So we just look at the total for everybody over 16 years of age and then split it up for race. This is what we get. As of January 1st, 2021, there was a 5.9% unemployment rate amongst white ethnicities. There was also a 5.9 unemployment rate amongst Asian ethnicities. When we get to Hispanic and Latino, we get to 8.8%. When we look at African Americans, we look at 10% unemployment rate. Now, what somebody could say is that this means that blacks and Hispanics are lazier. They don't try to get jobs more. What's probably more likely to be true is that they're actually not getting the jobs instead of other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could just be like, oh, you're black, I'm not going to hire you. Because that does happen. That still happens in the world today.
Discrimination.
Yeah, but it still happens. Even by people that say they're an equal opportunity employer, they still have numbers they have to hit, and a lot of them will still just barely hit numbers, and it's ridiculous.
Well, isn't that ridiculous that we have to hit numbers anyways though? Like we've made a system where like that's the goal. Like you have to hire so many women, you have to hire so many men, so many African Americans, so many Hispanics, so many Asians or whatever. That sounds ridiculous. I want to walk into just walk in somewhere, say you're what? We're all white, so we'd have to say like we're trans, gay, I don't know, purple dinosaurs, and then we check some box, we're hired right away for CEO positions. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's where it gets into fucking problems, right?
See, it's
all about qualifications.
I think we should get rid of that system.
But even then, it's not. I saw some shit the other day, and I think I talked about this too once before, where like they wanted 5 years of experience on a brand new computer language, and that's just an example. But like there's so many jobs, and this is like the greatest lie we get told in high schools and shit is that you have to go to college so you can get a degree. Don't worry about how much it costs because with your degree you'll make so much money, but yet we have hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of students fresh out of school, either not getting jobs or not getting jobs in their field, even though they have the qualifications that they should have for an entry-level position, but it's just not working out.
Well, who fills
the whole
the
education
job?
system's broken. What?
Yeah, but who fills that job if they don't get it? Someone more qualified. So, what's the big fucking deal? I'd rather have someone more qualified who knows their shit than some fresh punk out of high school or out of college, basically high school, who has never even been in the field.
Exactly. There's that. But then I think Jed was getting at the point like we're pushing people towards career options or goals that they normally wouldn't achieve or even go towards.
Dude,
which is making a vacuum in like the market where it's like there's too many people going for this job.
No fucking shit. That's why I kind of got out of college. It's because you're being fed the narrative of like, go to college, get a good job, pay off your student loan. Whereas we're in a shortage of actual tradespeople who make bank, dude. Electricians, carpenters. Like, all these people are very essential, yet we are told if you want to make money, you go to college. That is stupid. Stupid, idiotic thinking that you need to go to college just to fucking make money. No. If you have experience, they're going to hire you. If you can, get with the lingo, talk to them, you know, talk to people that are hiring you and show them, I know what the fuck I'm doing. I've done this before. I learned hands on instead of through a book. Hey, you're going to get hired. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a friend. He's in Wyoming, Montana area. Less than what 20,000 people around his area that he like travels around. He makes about $250,000 a year doing HVAC. So
Yeah.
I mean, how long does it take to get an HVAC license? What, like a
Oh,
year? Yeah, it's
maybe.
not. It doesn't take a long time. It's not outrageously expensive, and you know, you can
Yeah.
start working right away and build yourself up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need more people like that, like you were saying. Like we we need more of those programs in like reachable places too.
well, like we
Like
had whack. So,
yeah, but
which was great.
whenever it came to whack, like what was offered that was like a reasonable trade? Welding
Mechanics, welding.
was it
Yeah.
was welding, mechanics, and I think that was like those hands-on trades with
Carpenters.
that.
They had
There
like a
was.
carpenter class. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was debating welding, carpentry, and um, automotive, but I went automotive, which I'm so
And,
glad I did.
and then there was like programs that I know of that were like not necessarily like getting you further. Like that wasn't going to get you uh, a degree or anything, but it was going to like give you like make I guess it would make your college career easier
Yeah.
with the law classes that they had and like with the like graphic design classes.
Yeah.
But they weren't like building towards a degree in graphic design or a degree in law or anything.
But they would like help you out.
Yeah.
They would give you the like knowledge beforehand.
Yeah. Get your foot in the door,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've talked about it before. I think we all kind of agreed that like the education system needs a total rework from the ground up because like
Yeah.
from the beginning, it like all the way until like you're graduating high school. For the most part, there are some exceptions, but for the most part, by the time you graduate high school, all you have is gen eds. You don't have any kind of specialization for the field you want to go into, which leads most people not to know what field they want to go into, which causes them to spend more in college because they have to change halfway through to something they like more, and it's ridiculous.
I think the major thing we need to start, which I don't know if you guys have been following what's going on in California and across the country with like the what is it called, critical race theory that's being pushed in the schools and shit. Like they have to teach it. Like they have to teach critical race theory. It's like basically if you're white, you're bad. Shit like that. Like, and it's being pushed.
Is that all it is?
It's
like
it's shit like
I
that.
want to know more about it. Like because I don't know anything about it.
I do too. I'm only bringing it up because we were talking about revamping this. It's current events, and we're talking about this. But I think we need to we need to really look at what the fuck we're teaching and why the fuck we're teaching it. And I'm opposed 100% to what can be taught in school and what can't be taught in school because you can take away certain lessons, certain information from all sorts of different topics. Like I don't know why we have to exclude certain topics because it's sensitive or some shit. Like I don't. That's how we learn. That's like erasing history because it's offensive or some shit. Like
Yeah.
Yo, we need that because that is real world shit that happened because of these events. You teach it. Don't fucking hide it like you're a fucking Nazi. Don't hide that shit.
Yeah. And that was something that like I noticed a lot when we got to high school, was that like as soon as we got to high school, suddenly we were like, it's like we unlocked some new information. They were like, oh yeah, so you might have been taught this, or like you probably weren't taught this. And like what stood out to me a lot about that was like what we did to Native Americans. Like before high school, I knew almost nothing about what we did to Native Americans. But after high school, it was like, wow, we fucked them so hard. And it was like, wow, they just didn't teach this. Like what? Because they didn't want me to know. And even then, it still felt like I had to seek out the details, right? Like I would hear about it and I'd be like, oh, that doesn't sound like a good thing. And then I'd go research and be like, wow, this was actually absolutely like an atrocity. And it was like, it's stuff like that, right? That they're just leaving out. They're like, oh, well, we don't want people to know we did that. So we're just going to not tell anybody. And even though we did it, and there's people that know we did it, eventually people will forget. Because we're not going to teach it.
I literally waited, um, I waited all the way through high school to like this. We need some kind of digital like tablets or something instead of textbooks, because the books that we had, I don't know if it was just us or our school or whatever, they like even in high school they never had anything about 9/11 in it. It's like why are we learning up until the 80s, 90s? It's like,
Well, I mean,
why didn't we there's more information out, like 9/11 happened, why aren't we talking about this? Why aren't we talking about the conflicts in the Middle East? None of it has been written. It's
right.
like we stopped fucking 20 years behind. It's like, what the fuck are we? Well, like, if we need to be educated, we need to be educated on current events, shit that's going on right now,
Right.
not shit that happened in the night. Like, what happened after it? There's no resolution. We're left with that cliffhanger at the end of history books. Like,
Right.
what? Like, update the teaching, please. Update it so we can be in the know.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like almost like a timeline. Like say it was just like an app. Like it was just an app on a tablet, and it was called Timeline. And you just had like teams of people all over the globe that were just like putting in information and fact checking it, like as we went on, like what's going on in wars and economy, in like all this kind of stuff, and like major advancements in science, major discoveries in the biofield, major advancements in medicine, and they're just like constantly adding to the timeline, so you can just go back to any period in time, and then you could have another team of um, editors, not editors,
Researchers?
no, I'm trying to think of like people that like make collections of things. Like a newspaper editor would like take certain stories and put them together for one paper, right? This would be like a timeline editor, and they would just be like, so this was really important. We're going to grab this and put it down as like a notable like highlight event, right? And then that'd be like all the big wars. 9/11 would be down there, all that kind of stuff. So you could look at anytime you want, but you can also look at the really important stuff, and then you can probably filter by, yeah, it'd be a cool app to make. Hey, give me credit.
Just
make
gonna
the app,
say.
give me credit.
Well,
do you ever
I
have
remember
that?
whenever I was in school, somebody had asked about that in our history class, and they're like, "That's more current events than it is history yet, but in like 20 years, that'll be history."
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
Also,
it's
and I
history.
think, yeah, and I think the problem with our textbooks was, I remember we'd always like, oh, try to find a textbook of somebody with somebody you knew in it, or like your older brother, because they were that old. Like
Oh
you could
yeah,
find
or they were
like
like from the
graduated when you
90s,
were like in
most of them.
kindergarten. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's probably a reason they ended. But yeah, I think it'd be cool because yeah, the app would be it'd be current events at the beginning, but the longer it went
And you
on,
wouldn't need to spend so much on a textbook, an actual
yeah,
book. You would just update the app. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It seems like the technology we have is capable of teaching better, because we have kids that are like geared towards almost ADHD lifestyle, where they
yeah,
they need something in their face, video, um, you know, just more engaging
Yeah, there's
because
a lot of kids like that.
I think
Like, and
education is competing with like video games in a sense because it's almost like the kids they enjoy more playing video games than they do school because school is so mind numbing. It's so like, oh
Yeah.
my fuck, who cares? Like,
Like I'm
you
either going to
know,
sit here and just listen for a while and maybe take some notes, or I'm going to sit
yeah,
here quietly and not be able to talk to anybody and just write stuff down. It's like with video games, you have, and I've noticed it with myself too. As I sit here, I'll like find a pen and fiddle with it, or I'll just like circle my vape around in my hand because we were programmed as humans to want to be doing something with our hands
yeah.
and engaged mentally.
And females more so. Like females,
Yeah,
females are more geared towards like school. That's why they do better in school. Like statistically, like because they can sit down, they can be calm, relaxed, and engage and consume that way. Whereas guys are like, we gotta be moving, we gotta be doing stuff with our hands, we gotta be fucking physically active. Like,
yeah.
but
And I think that just comes from like the biology of like, you know,
yeah,
our and it's weird when you think about it because like there's no other there's no like there's nothing to compare it to, right? Like we can't look at apes and be like, well, when apes were first like when their current species was first evolved, they did this and now they're doing all this kind of stuff. We see that a little bit because now they're using tools a little bit more and they're learning sign language and stuff, but a lot of that's come from us kind of working with them, right? But us, you look at when our species was first evolved, it was so drastically different from the way our species operates now. We
well,
want
like,
food, we go to a fridge, we cook it up and shit. Back in the
yeah,
day, we would just follow stuff until it like basically died from exhaustion, and then we'd cook it on an open fire or eat it raw. You
have you
know,
heard Jordan Peterson's argument for more recess and shit? Because like,
I might have. I think
well,
somebody
he
sent
was
that to
talking
me.
about like how like we treat little boys as if like when they're in kindergarten and everything, they're little kids. They're little kid boys too. They're gonna fight. They're gonna get into trouble. They're gonna do this and that. But like when you punish them, it's like almost taking that primitive nature. It's just like punishing them for primitive nature that they are supposed to have.
Yeah,
They are supposed to be that way because that is how we are as a primate, as a species, being a male little primitive little shit. Like you are gonna get into trouble. You're gonna fucking fight. You're gonna do shit like
yeah.
that. Like,
but as a
but we punish them
society, we're not
as
like
a
that, right?
as a civilized
Society.
yeah, as a civilized little boy. You're gonna behave, or you're gonna go to timeout where you're just stuck in your head.
Yeah, dude.
And then
Yeah.
weird stuff
Facts.
happens there. No, but shit, guys, this is a hard thing to like. I think that they got rid of like recess and stuff like that at a lot of schools because they wanted to increase like their test scores because that's the only thing that matters,
They want to
right?
increase their weight. They want to increase their ability to be sick. They want to decrease their immune system's power. Yeah, let's get rid of recess. Matter of fact, let's get rid of art. Which sparks your brain, which
Mm.
sparks a part of your brain that you know
Yeah, you know
really
what? We need some
gets
extra
you.
funding for sports. Let's cut music.
Yeah.
I think that's
Oh,
such bullshit, dude. Because
the
you're
sports are gonna be
unlocking,
cut, dude.
dude, you're unlocking so many parts of your brain that you need it. You don't need to be honed in on one section of the brain, and then that part of the brain just gets more powerful than the other half. So then you have no fucking strength in that other that other quarter or half of the brain that you're not using.
Hmm.
It's fucking bullshit. Like, be a well-rounded individual. Critical thinking skills gone out the window because we've been sitting and looking and listening and taking tests on what the fuck you're supposed to be learning, what you're supposed to be told, what you're gonna tell people because that's how you've been programmed.
Yep.
It's like, think for yourself, man. That is how you become unstoppable.
There's very few teachers out there that want you to think for yourself. They want you to absorb their information that they're giving you. And like whenever I was, I guess high school from college or whatever, right? Whenever I was in high school, it was a lot of like teachers that were saying like in college, then you can question things. Like then you can like think for yourself on topics. And I was like, why aren't we doing that now? Like
Yeah.
there was only a handful of teachers that I ever had that were like, all right, I'm gonna give you some information. I want you to think for yourself and like construct the next step or something like that. And or like use like critical thinking skills to like solve this problem. Like I'm not gonna show you how to do it. And like I really appreciated those teachers because they pushed me to like basically educate myself in a way. And then whenever I get to college, uh, once again, like there was a lot of people that are like, oh, you can think for yourself like later on in life. Like you here's not the place, and you just shut up and listen. Shut up and listen to what we have to say and repeat what we have to say. And then that whole programming like just sit down, shut up, don't think for yourself. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think thinking for yourself was something that happened like a long time ago that was promoted, and like judging on the teachers that want you to think for yourself, they're a much older generation most of the time. So I'm thinking maybe we need to take a step back.
Yeah.
Maybe
They're
the
wise.
education system doesn't need to be like revamped again. It needs to be de-evolved, I guess we could say. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
It needs to be.
that's the only way that it's ever going to happen. Is that needs to it needs to get to a point where, okay, what the fuck are we teaching? Why are we teaching this? It's going to get to a point where someone's going to look at where we're at on the timeline of education, and be like, whoa, we got to stop this fucking flow of the timeline because this timeline's fucked. We got to take it to another fucking place because this isn't working.
Yeah.
We're running. We're going downhill. We got to take it back uphill, and then that's how it's gonna happen. If it happens, I hope it does.
Yeah.
I just think that like I know teachers that will they bless their hearts. They have independent minds. They don't agree with the curriculum that they teach, but they're never gonna tell you that unless you really ask them, get them in a private place, maybe
Yeah.
have a couple of these with them, and then they'll start talking and they'll tell you, yeah, it's fucking bullshit. It's like, whoa,
Yeah.
what? Huh? Like, yeah, the shit I teach, I don't want to fucking teach it, but I have to. It's like,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah,
I'm sure you
because
guys
it's
you
all
guys have
about
seen the
like their
face, right?
job and everything.
Have you guys seen the face that they make when you're like when you ask a question and they want to say something like true to them, like yeah, this education stuff's bullshit.
Yeah,
But then they give you that face like yeah, so we're gonna keep going on with the lesson or something like that. And it's just I've seen that face too, and it's just like, and I've talked to teachers like privately, and they're just like, yeah, I'd really like to go into more in depth on like this kind of stuff, and I think this would be more beneficial to you guys, but they want me to focus on this stuff, and it's just, man, when the
Mm-hmm.
teachers, when the people in the know about what's going on are the like, this is kind of whack. That's when you know it's fucked up.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, students have
that's
been complaining for a long time. There have been teachers that have been complaining for a long time, and nothing's being done with it. And there's still tons of schools out there with like no funding, which is also
well,
a problem. Like, what else are we spending our fucking money on except educating our freaking youth? That should be like number 2 priority.
well. And speaking of critical thinking and Jordan Peterson earlier, that's why Jordan and people like him and Brett Weinstein, um,
Weinstein.
they've they've been kind of ostracized from the education. I mean, from an educational standpoint, they've crossed the line.
Yeah.
They've stood their ground, and because of that, they've kind of been ostracized in a way. But
Yeah.
those are the people that I love to listen to because they tell you a little something something that you're not gonna get in a
Yeah.
simple lecture.
I've heard that it happens with like cops too. So like when cops like want to like call out another cop for like uh, not conducting their job correctly, or like domestic violence is one I hear a lot. And it's like they want to call it out, so they go to their superiors, and then they end up the ones being fired and like ostracized and pushed from the force because it's all about status quo. Nobody wants to upset the status quo, so
right,
as soon
and
as you try to rock the boat,
it's almost little gangs, right? Like we got a little gang of teachers. Okay, so you got to go with the flow of the teachers. If you decide to fucking be a rebel and speak out and speak your mind and unplug from the matrix, then guess what? You're gonna be that little fucking node that gets kicked out of the club. Same thing with the cops. If you're not in with the fucking shit, if you're not down to play fucking game when we're doing a drug bust and we find cash, we each split the cash, we each split the drugs, whatever, we claim this amount of drugs, shit like that, then guess what? You're out of the fucking gang. It's all a big fucking charade, man.
Dude, everybody's
That's
got
all
their
it
clique,
is.
man. It's fucking stupid.
Every little department. And then you get into government. Oh my fucking god. No, we're not gonna talk about that. Talk too much about that shit.
It goes all the way up. All the way up and all the way back.
I mean, dude, but think about it, man. Isn't the government the biggest mob there is? I mean, they have the IRS getting their fucking pay from you every fucking year. And if you don't, they throw you. And if they don't, they throw you in jail, all for the sake of United States of America, because we care. Because we spend your tax dollars in places that you will never fucking know.
Yep.
Well,
I mean, and if you don't do that, well, yeah, it's in bank accounts.
Bank accounts that I'm just saying, like it gets not spent in the right places, or it gets squandered away to politicians in Cuba.
Yeah. I mean, there's still a large portion of it that just goes right into their pockets for their pay and their residencies and
if you think about it, like how there's always the saying of like, no matter what the system is, people are gonna cheat the system. Well, the politicians have figured out a way to cheat the Constitution. They figured out a way to cheat the system. They figured out a way to cheat we the people out of our money. And they're getting away with it, and there's no one person that can stand up and make things change. And we're becoming such a submissive society. I'm not saying we need to revolt. I'm just saying it's going to get to a point where we don't revolt because we're just becoming so submissive to it that it's like, well, whatever. What am I going to do? Who the fuck am I? And that's the mindset you're going to get into, which hopefully when we reach out to people like in this form, we can say, hey, you're not alone. I feel the same. I feel the same shit.
Yeah.
If you're ever feeling mad at the government, hey, go back and watch our old videos. Look at me. Say, yeah, I'm not alone. This guy's fucking, he's with the shit.
Yeah. My thing is like, I don't see another solution anymore.
Yeah, like, well, let's say we took it over. Now what? Now what, dude?
Dude, I don't know. But what if we don't take it over? What's going to change?
Exactly. If you want to see change, like the biggest thing is like start with yourself, right?
Watch the Gentleman's Bureau is going to be the sole reason of a revolt in the United States. They're like,
oh my gosh.
Well, what these guys are saying is that's it.
These young guys over here.
Yeah.
They're not even 50. They want to talk about government here. Yeah.
I think Hamilton was like 17. And I don't think the rest of them were that much older anyway.
Huh. I've never looked into that, but
wow.
I actually, Lane. So I didn't get very far in 1776 because I took a nap. I passed the fuck out.
Yeah, I figured you would. We when Jed was out here, we went to because I like to, if I have friends over, I don't like to do it by myself, but we'll go like thrift shopping and stuff just to see what kind of like wall art and like books. I mainly go for books because you get cheap books there. And Jed found this book, 1776. And I was like, damn, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's your book.
And I got it, brought it home. And then he actually gave me one of his books, too, on like a particle theory. Yeah. And then I actually found like 6 books that I wanted to get, but I was like, I can't get this all back home.
Yeah. I would have shipped it to you, but it's all right.
It's whatever.
Take it slow. There'll be plenty of books. Build your library.
Yeah,
oh, right. Dude, I've literally got like a fucking storage crate of books, and I've still
Read 'em.
got some more at home.
Take
I
notes.
read most
It's always
of them.
good.
Yeah. Speaking of books, our next episode, we read Green Lights, and I know you guys have been highly anticipating the video for that, so stay tuned for that, because it's going to be a good one. It was a great book.
Great book.
Yeah,
Told you it was. All
it
right.
was a
Without
great.
further ado, we're gonna end this one here, and we're gonna get over to Green Lights. Get that one a good one too. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Gentleman's Bureau. You can find us on YouTube or you can find us on Spotify, the Gentlemen's Bureau. While you're hanging out here, just make sure you give a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring that notification bell so you get notifications every time we go live.
Ding ding.
Post a video. We should do another live soon, guys. Though we should talk about that.
Yeah, we should. We'll talk.
Yeah, and then hey,
You can do Green
hop
Lights
in the
live.
hop in the comments. Let us know what you think, what you want us to talk about. Paranormal activity. Let us know what happened there.
Oh, Mark, did
Oh,
you have
yeah.
a? Did you?
Oh
have
yeah,
a-
Mark, we were gonna get
Oh,
that
I'll bring it up next time. Yeah.
No. Bring it up now. Bring it up now.
bonus
we're-
after
we're wrapping
the
up, though.
closing.
Okay. So my only ghost story, is I was like younger. I was at my brother's house, down the road from my house. We were doing some remodeling, and that house has been like in our family. I think it was like built in like 18 something. It's pretty old. Been through the family for a while. We were doing some remodeling on that house, and like I could full on see like shadows of old people like up and down the stairs, like walking up and down the stairs, and like you could hear a conversation going on, like, but you couldn't really like make out what was really being said, just a couple words here and there. And then like I was like, oh, that's weird. Like I went upstairs to go like see what it was, and then there was nobody up there. That was my only ghost story. And like I described the voice and the voices, and my parents were like, oh, that kind of sounds like your grandma and your great grandpa, like your great grandpa and great grandma. I was like, oh shit, pretty cool, but spooky. That was my
Crazy.
experience with ghosts. Nothing terrifying, just kind of ooh.
Yeah.
Weird.
That is weird. But like, you wouldn't say, like, if someone questioned you on it, like, did you really see the shadows and shit? Like, you would say 100%, yeah, I saw it.
Oh yeah,
Without a
there were
doubt.
shadows like
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
the
see,
on the
people-
wall from the sun and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. See, people always like question, like, oh, yeah, sure. You sure you weren't tripping or something? Like, no, dude.
I was like
Straight
8.
up. Yeah. Unless someone gave you fucking acid. But yeah, dude, like, it's crazy how, like, authentic it is. And then people
Same
don't-
house though. Like my mom's ex-husband said that he's seen a fucking demon. Like he turned around the corner and he just seen this demon figure. So that was kind of weird.